Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for the weekend of November 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2014. I'm Astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Check out my November 2014 horoscope because it's on sale now for $3.99. If you want to put all the dots together of why we are going through and what is happening this month, well, guess what? I have a visual presentation that goes into it all in MP4 format. Download for your phone or your computer and get it now at inclusiveastrology.com. But before we take a look at all the planets, let's take a look at the Leo King planet energy meter to get a beat on where all the energy is in the zodiac. Woo! You know what, guys? This has been an intense week, and coming into this weekend, where do you think that we're going to keep the energy? It is still pegged at the extreme. Now, extreme doesn't mean that, you know, your cat's going to be flying off a building and, you know, falling on the ground and you need to call the police. It's deep inner stuff we're dealing with. Now, it can, of course, come into the external world as, you know, things can sometimes manifest that way. But if you notice with this energy that we've been going through, it's contained to the very deep inner world. You know, it's contained to how you deal with things in your own conscious awareness, in your own personal space. That's because we have 4 planets still in Scorpio coming into this weekend. This whole week we've had 4 planets in Scorpio. This is a very rare energy as we are in purebred transformation, purebred going deep layers of onion. You know, you're digging yourself like a layer of every onion piece, just like, oh my gosh, and getting to this core nucleus of the bottom of what your issues are in your life. We've got Saturn, which Venus has conjunct, but more importantly, the Sun is getting ready for its conjunction on Monday. So this weekend is about approaching the big awareness, the big understanding of the work that you're doing in your life. And Saturn is ruled by mountaintops. Just when you think you have reached the top of the mountain, or you have achieved the goal, or you have finished the term paper, nah, there's another paper, there's another trail. Don't give up coming up into this weekend. There could be a feeling where, especially as the moon is in Leo coming into the weekend, it's conjuncting Jupiter, wanting to feel this positivity, yet it's squaring the Sun, it's squaring Venus, it's squaring Saturn. It's difficult because we can't be in that happy-go-lucky place fully as we have things we got to deal with. I call it, we got to go down to the dungeon and clean house, or we've got to face emotional stuff around relationships and, you know, frustrations or the work. That's because the moon does square Venus, the moon does square Saturn coming into the weekend. And guess what? You're gonna have to face this weekend, coming into it at least, maybe an emotional aspect of how you have to love the hard work. You have to learn to not try and separate from it. You have to learn to bring unity and integrate and bring it into your unity. The reason why I say that is because Scorpio and Leo are 2 signs of unity, of complete consciousness. They're fixed signs. It's the fixed fire, the fixed water. I always look at Scorpio as like the ice cube. You know, it's when the water turns to ice. You know, it needs to... You need to embody the ice into your life right now. You've got to embody the fire. You've got to bring it all into a more solid aspect. And that means not separating from it, even if it is hard, even if it is dark, even if it is scary, even if it is difficult. By loving it, by accepting it, by bringing it into your soul and bringing unity to it, that's your love. When you separate and have anxiety about it, or you hate it, or you don't want it anymore, you're separating from it, but you're not loving it. And this is forcing us to love our darkest aspects, forcing us to love our difficult aspects, forcing us to love what we have issues with. And if you can come into this weekend, even when you feel like you want to quit, trust me, it can feel like, I'm just done. I'm quitting. There's no more outlets. We just had Jupiter squares to all this energy. You know, you can come off this kind of like, oh gosh, I mean, I try to see the big picture, but is it really going to happen? You know, it all really is going to happen. This is also Neptune coming direct this weekend, which I think is going to be the big point this weekend of where there's also going to be Venus leaving Scorpio and entering Sagittarius on Sunday. As the moon all comes into Virgo this weekend, I think our whole reality comes into a big shift this weekend as we have to bring that integration of love into the difficult aspects. But I think we start to see a light at the end of the tunnel with Neptune coming direct. It's almost like we could wake up from our unconscious behaviors, our subconscious energies, and we can wake up into really starting to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But it doesn't mean that it's over. You have to look down and still see the sun is approaching Saturn, as there's still work to do. You still, even though you have the light, or that you know that there's water at the end of this trail, you have to still go do the trail. Like, you just can't like be like, oh yeah, there's water at the end of the trail, and yeah, I could sip it now. It's like, nah, I'm not on the trail. I gotta go do it. So with the moon in Virgo this weekend, don't be critical on yourself. You know, one thing about a moon in Virgo and a sun in Scorpio is it can be very positive as learning to maybe make some new integration into your reality about how you're dealing with this deep inner world stuff. The negative of it is, you know, you can be critical over this deep, intense stuff you're dealing with, or this personal stuff. And I think that this is definitely a weekend that's going to be testing you on whether you're ready to give up. It's also going to show you that the work, the big hump is here. The big work is right here. This is where you keep pushing forward, and by integrating the love, by bringing it into your soul, by truly embracing it, you can change. This is when the energy of the snake, when it's shedding its skin, it doesn't maybe feel like it can do it anymore. This is it, folks. And especially as the moon in Virgo is going to oppose all this energy that's happening, you know, over there in Pisces that's turning online, you know, it's bridging this real world and this spiritual world, and learning to have a happy balance. You know, as you awaken maybe subconscious parts of yourself and you might want to escape, maybe you can find some real solid earthly ways this weekend to find the better escape, to find the pure aspect of things, to not be critical of yourself. It's a happy balance we're having to do of like integrating reality, yet maybe having ways to escape. And this could be where, you know, I think the universe finds us the light, that little pin needle of light this weekend to finally escape our awareness and to see that positivity, because Venus entering Sagittarius is about our value systems, are feeling good, starting to see a bigger picture, starting to see that there's a whole galaxy to aim at, that we can aim higher. And I think that it is this aim that allows us to start to have a good picture as we come into this hard work. I think that we are so blessed from the universe that we're going to have this weekend, because it proves to me that no matter how difficult you might be dealing with something in your life, and we talked about this in past horoscopes, so you haven't watched that, whether it's a relationship, whether that's anything in your life that you're going through, that you're gonna go through this and you're gonna make it. That you're gonna. I know it. And you're gonna notice that this was the week to get through. And this weekend, sure, there might be some aspects you still need to get through, but I think you're stronger coming into this weekend than you have been in the prior weeks. And I think that you're gonna be able to make it through and feel grounded. And especially as the moon trines Mars, which has come off of this big, you know, square to Uranus and conjunction to Pluto, there's a real ready to go, but a serious ready to go. Knowing that there's work ahead, knowing that you're ready to get up on Monday, all when the sun conjuncts Saturn, ready for the serious work, ready to make the changes, and ready to face the problems head on. The card of the weekend is the 9 of Wands reversed. This is good. I think that this might allow us to learn to let go if we have too many things on our plate. But this at the same time can maybe mean that, I always look at this card as maybe we need to be prepared here to integrate and move things forward still. And maybe there's some things we need to collect. It's almost like maybe you've dropped everything, and maybe you got to realize that you got to pick it all back up and you got to move forward. You know, this could be where you just like throw all the dirty clothes on the floor and don't want to do them. It's like, no, it's time to pick them up, get them going, get the change, get the laundry detergent, get the bounce, and let's go. You know, it's like, this is the weekend that the universe does this. It's getting us prepared, because next week, as we face the sun and Saturn, as we have the sun leave Sagittarius and get ready for this new moon in Sag, and as we get ready for all the energy to shift, it really is now. check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com. If you have any questions or if you want to have a one-on-one reading, thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you on Monday.